There are 90 days left in this year, and because most people are stuck in survival mode, they will waste them waiting for January. But privileged women, they don't wait. They lock in now. They use these 3 months to declutter survival mindset, step into privilege, and set themselves up to enter the new year already walking in abundance. If that's something that you're ready to do, you're in the right place. Welcome back, my friends, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Christy, and I make content centered around realizing that no matter where we are in life, no matter our age, we are just on time to live the life of our dreams. I am unofficially in this 90-day lock-in series because this fall, things are changing. It is really easy to see a video about it and get really excited, get really motivated, get really pumped up, and then lose steam just a couple of weeks in because you don't have that follow-up. So I put it on myself to make sure that we have that follow-up, that I also have that follow-up. So for today's 90-day lock-in topic, we're going to talk about what it looks like to stop living in survival mode and to step into privilege. Why does a fall lock-in matter? If you've been with me for the past couple of weeks, you already know that I have shared the power of a 90-day lock-in and why this end of the year, this time of year is the best time for it. Today, I want to take that a little bit deeper because fall is a built-in reset if you decide to use it. The truth is that 90 days is enough to completely change your whole life. You can clear physical clutter, you can reset habits, and you can begin to rewrite the story of how you show up for yourself. But if you don't take hold of these last 90 days, you are going to drag the same clutter and exhaustion and survival mode mindset into the new year. I don't know about you, but I refuse to live another year that looks like the last. I made that decision for myself a few years ago that every year I want to see myself improving. Every year I want to see the growth and see myself moving forward. Privileged women don't wait for January. They use the fall to see where they are with their goals for the year, make adjustments as necessary, get aligned, get focused, and get prepared for what's next. If you're new here, I do like to explain what I mean by a privileged mindset. When I say privilege, I'm not talking about being born into money or status or access. I'm not talking about entitlement or being above anybody else. A privileged mindset is one where you decide to see yourself as worthy right now, worthy of opportunities, worthy of rest, worthy of being cared for. It's choosing to believe that life has more for you and you're allowed to receive it. It's also about how you show up. Privileged people don't wait for permission. They move. They don't hoard out of fear, but they trust that there is more where that came from. They don't dim themselves to make other people comfortable. They stand in their value and let that set the tone. So no, it's not about your bank account. It's not about having money. It's not about being the richest, whatever woman. I have met wealthy people who still live in a broke scarcity mindset, and I've met people with very little who still carry themselves with the confidence and joy of privilege. Privilege is a mindset, it's a decision, it is a culture that you can step into right where you are now. Now that we are clear on the definition, I want to look at the difference between survival mode and privilege. Let's be so for real. Survival mode is exhausting. It keeps you in this constant hustle, never actually feeling secure or free or joyful. And the sneaky thing is that survival mode can look like you are holding it all together, but inside you are constantly running on empty. Survival mode looks like holding on to things and hoarding just in case, keeping your closet stuffed, your digital files overflowing, or holding on to toxic relationships, toxic people because you're afraid of what happens if you let go. It also looks like overcommitting and burning out. You say yes to everything, work, family, volunteering, until you have nothing left for yourself. And then when you do have an opportunity to rest or to focus on you feel guilty, and so you clutter up your time with other things. Survival mode looks like waiting for permission, believing that you need the perfect plan, the right time, or someone else's approval before you can move forward. Feeling like life is happening to you. Every setback feels like proof that you are stuck, so you shrink your dreams and you settle for less. What survival mode does is that it keeps you reactive instead of proactive. It drains your energy and it convinces you that barely getting by is the best that you can hope for. I tell the story often that when I lost my parents in my 20s, something inside of me immediately shifted into survival mode because there were all of these new responsibilities that I had to take on, plus grief that I was dealing with. And that was just the way that I approached life. When I had gotten out of that season, it was really hard for me to mentally shift and to see that my life had changed and that I could level up with the place that I had grown to. And so mentally, I was living and acting like I was so broke and that I constantly needed to hustle, like I could not pour into myself. It was a really hard mindset to overcome. All of that changed in an instant when I decided I'm living like privileged people. And my life started to become a reflection of this new mindset. So, what is the difference in having a privileged mindset? A privileged mindset looks like one, trusting that what you need will be there when you need it. Instead of hoarding, you live in expectation. You let go of the just in case and believe that there will always be more opportunities, more resources, more support. It's also protecting your boundaries and energy. You learn to say no to the things that drain you without feeling bad, without feeling guilty about it, so that you can say yes to what fuels you. Boundaries are not selfish, they're strategic. You move forward even without perfect conditions. You do not wait for the perfect house or the perfect health or the perfect system. You start messy knowing that progress is the real privilege. You expect good things, and how you show up reflects that. When you believe that good things are coming, you treat yourself like they're already on the way. You treat yourself like you are already that version of yourself. You prepare your space, your schedule, and your spirit to receive. I recently uploaded a video about decluttering like privileged women and the things that high value women let go of. On a side note, I know some people had mad problem with the word high value, but the thing with high value is simply a matter of how you see yourself and how you treat yourself. If you see yourself as high value, as a quality person, then that's what you are. Do not let other people or society or whatever make you believe because you don't have this, that, or the other, that it decreases your value. If you don't feel like you're high value, I can't really do anything for you for that. If you do not feel that way about yourself, then I kind of think that's where people have a problem with it, because you internally do not believe that your value is high enough. And girl, you got to work on that. Anyway, one of the things that I talked about in that video was letting go of raggedy things in your life. Replacing 100 raggedy and cheap things just for the purpose of having more with a few curated quality items is going to make such a big difference in how you see yourself. And because of that, it makes a difference in how you expect to be treated. I said it before that if you allow raggediness in small ways, you are going to allow it in big ways in your life. So as you can, start getting rid of the raggedy, unquality stuff that does not bring you joy, that makes you feel raggedy when you look at it, and replace it over time with things that make you feel like your best, that make you feel good on the inside, and you recognize, wow, yeah, I'm worth it. It is the difference of saying, instead of getting a 10 pack of Hanes panties, I'm actually gonna get 2 pair of really nice ones and then wash them. And the thing is, you don't need January 1st to step into this. The next 90 days are the perfect chance to break free from survival mode and step into privilege in every part of your life. Again, I am not saying spend all of your money on stupid stuff or make dumb purchases. We're not doing that. Privilege does not mean being stupid. How to declutter scarcity thinking and a broke mindset. Scarcity thinking is the clutter that takes up the most space in your mind. And like we have already talked about, a broke mindset will keep you trapped even if your bank account has changed. So if that's something that you have recognized in your own mindset, we need to be strategic in how we approach decluttering so that we can effectively deal with it. One, just in case hoarding. Scarcity says, I might need this someday, but privilege says, if I need it later, I will have what I need when I need it. I thought about listing out different things that we could scarcity hoard, but the reality of it is that it can be so random. I have been guilty of holding the most random things just in case. I'm talking about buttons, old phones, stuff from jobs that I will never go back to. So you have to figure out what that looks like for you. Every just in case item that you hold on to is usually rooted in fear. Maybe it's fear of lack, fear of regret, fear of not being prepared. But holding on to these things, it clutters up your space and, more importantly, your energy. Choosing privilege means allowing yourself to let go. This is going to build trust in your ability and also in God's provision to supply what's needed in the future. Saving the good stuff for later. Scarcity says, I can't use this nice lotion or makeup or candle or outfit until it's a special occasion. Privilege says, every single day of my life is worth showing up for. When you save the good stuff for later, you send this subtle but really powerful message to yourself that today's not worth it. I don't deserve this right now. And you end up living your whole life in wait mode, waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for the special event, waiting for the approval of someone else before you can enjoy what you already own. Privilege shifts the story. It says, I'm worth it today. What are some practical examples of this? Burning that nice fancy candle on a random Tuesday when you have a few minutes alone to yourself, or you're just folding laundry, but you are enjoying and treating yourself with what you already have. Wearing your favorite outfit to run errands instead of just letting it collect dust. Opening the bottle of wine that you have been saving. Now, I get there are some special occasion wines that we save for. Using the perfume, the skincare, the nice makeup, every single day. These are not silly luxuries. They are acts of alignment. They tell your brain, they tell your spirit, I am valuable right now, not someday, today. Privilege teaches you that you don't need to wait for permission to enjoy life. And you create this confidence that actually does ripple into everything else that you do. Fear of waste. Scarcity says it is wasteful to let it go. I spent money on it. Someone else gave it to me. I don't know the right place to put it, so I need to keep it. Privilege says keeping what doesn't serve me is the real waste. My peace, my space, my energy are so much more valuable. When you hold on to clutter out of guilt, you are keeping yourself tied to regret. Every time you see those items, you are reminded of money lost or a mistake made or the fear of disappointing someone. That guilt then keeps you locked in the past instead of freeing you to move forward. But the truth is that the money is already spent. The gift has already been given, and the item eventually needs to go somewhere. Holding on to it just ends up costing you your peace, your space, your energy, and your confidence. Let it go. Privilege reframes waste. It recognizes that the real waste is me shrinking under the weight of stuff that I do not use. When you choose privilege, you stop punishing yourself with guilt. You instead start honoring your future by making room for what is aligned with who you're becoming. That's not for me thinking. Scarcity says those opportunities, that level of life, that kind of peace, that's for other people. Privilege says, if it's in my heart, it's meant for me too. This type of clutter tells you to stay small and don't get your hopes up because you'll only be disappointed. And every single time that you agree with it, you hand your future over to fear. The problem with that's not for me thinking is that it trains you to opt out of abundance even before you giving yourself a chance to step into it. It convinces you that good things are reserved for other people. The younger, the prettier, the smarter, the richer, the whatever. And you settle for scraps instead of reaching for the feast that's already prepared for you. Decluttering this lie, though, makes room for belief. It is how you shift from sitting on the sidelines, watching life happen for other people, wishing that it was you, to actually receiving it for yourself. Because what happens is what you claim with faith, you attract with action. Ooh, that's good. What you claim with faith, you attract with action. Shrinking back keeps you stuck, but privilege propels you forward. So how do we step into privilege over these next 90 days? You might remember from my 90-day lock-in video that we talked about creating your plan using my faith, fitness, and freedom framework. Some of you already written it down. In fact, you have shared it in the comments, but I want to take it a step further because privilege isn't about just having a plan on paper. It is about the way that you show up for that plan. Here is how you lock in and actually live like a privileged woman over these next 90 days. If you have not watched that video, it is linked down below. Really briefly, I'm going to go over what faith, fitness, and freedom are, but I'm not going to go over it in as much depth. So again, if you haven't seen it, go ahead and click the video below to watch that. Faith. It's not just about praying or journaling or whatever it is that you've decided to do to connect to this faith pillar just because it's on your list. It is about stepping into those moments with expectation. Privilege says, this is my time to get grounded and to pour into my spirit. Even if it's just for 5 minutes, you show up like a woman who knows that she is on time and aligned. And this matters because survival mode says that you are constantly behind. Faith, though, says that you're exactly where you need to be and that God is right there in it with you. Fitness. Maybe your habit is a 10-minute walk or drinking water or actually going to bed on time. Survival mode looks at those things and says, that's not enough. Privilege looks at what you're doing and it says, this is how I honor my body and how I protect my energy. We've heard it said many times, but you cannot pour from an empty cup. This fitness pillar is a reminder that energy is a privilege, one that you protect, not that you just spend recklessly. Freedom. This is where the decluttering piece comes in. Maybe your lock-in habit is setting donation deadlines or having a weekly movie night with your spouse or tackling procrastination with the 5-minute rule. Survival mode calls that small, but privilege sees it as curating your life for the things that matter. Freedom doesn't just happen, it is created. And every choice that you make to clear the unnecessary, whether it is physical clutter, stuff that's on your counter, stuff that's on your phone, or stuff that's in your schedule, wherever the clutter might be in your life, clearing that is an act of privilege. If you already made your faith, fitness, and freedom plan, I want you to revisit it. Ask yourself, am I doing these things in survival mode or am I doing it from a place of privilege? If you haven't made your plan yet, go watch that video, write it down, and start today. I want you to pick your habits in each area and then commit to them over these next 90 days. Small, daily, consistent. That is how you step into privilege before the year ends. Like I already said, you don't need January. You have got 90 days right now. Declutter survival mode, step into privilege, and walk into 2026 already ahead. I want you to let me know in the comments, what is one survival habit that you're decluttering this fall, and what's one privilege action that you're gonna replace it with? Also, if you have been craving a reset and you don't wanna wait for January, I am so excited to announce that my Declutter Your Life Happy Hour is returning. We are having it at the end of October. It's a 3-day experience where you will learn exactly how to identify and clear the clutter across your whole life, your space, your energy, your peace, your routines, so that you can step into 2026 already aligned and just ready to go. The link's below to find out more. If this video spoke to you, hit that like button and share it with a friend. Apparently, also, we can do some new things on YouTube now. So like, hype it up, girl, hype it up. Also, if you're not subscribed, like, what are you doing? I'm gonna need you to jump on that. Alrighty, my friends, I love you so much and I will see you in my next. Mwah. Bye for now.